Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope. This is the Peace Dealer, and we are at 6 degrees Taurus. I balance. Today sets forth the birth of a miraculous cycle that is set to incredibly innovate everything you have the opportunity to manifest, and is akin to receiving a brand new desktop computer. Let's say your old computer, whether it was a Mac or Windows, you know how it gets where it just starts freezing. You know that feeling you get when it's time to get a new computer and you want to throw your current computer against the wall because it takes like 5 minutes to open one program, and then you just get that new computer. Everyone knows that feeling. You unbox it, the programs just start so quickly. It has that new computer smell. There's barely any tabs. You get the joy of installing programs again. This is where we're at right now. And it's just, I don't think you're aware yet of how advanced this new piece of technology you're coming into is. For years, astrologers like myself, shout out to Dolo the Pilot Man, he shouted us out, and I'd like to extend that word, compared to decades worth of misinformation that you've had astronomers and scientists really, deluding people with. It's really the astrologers and the tarot cards and the people who've been labeled pseudoscientists that have been guiding people, at least in some direction. Might not be a concrete, detailed direction in terms of empirical data, but we've championed intuitive guidance in ways that are predictable, testable, and calculatable like science. So if you are part of this movement, if you are part of someone who expresses these gifts, you have to really harness more pride. And I don't like to use the word pride, but confidence. All right, doing what you do. The gifts that you have, and this is where we get into the worth of Taurus. The gifts that you have are real. It's not figurative. Like that was the whole war with Uranus and Aries. Innovating identification. Innovating what you call something before this is established in Gemini. And so a lot of you have taken with your action perceptions around certain arts and crafts for what they really are, because you imbued it with your own authenticity. So like your gifts are real, and you're still in a climate where people are willing to put this vague energy as if you're not contributing anything when you're contributing a lot. So think about that, because once again, Taurus is work. So this is also you really stepping into this cycle with your gifts, with what you could do outside of spirituality too, however you make sense of that. And it's super amazing, once again, when you consider that astrologers, for years now, we have been saying that the things that are occurring now are going to happen. I have transit talks where I'm even speaking on with other people, how the economy is going to crash when Uranus is in Taurus. We said this when Uranus was in Aries, and people were looking at us crazy. And now, it's happening. And I don't claim that on my own. If you are watching this video, you've predicted this too. You've had a feeling, you've had a sense. So we're all in this. And it's surreal. It's actually really happening. And it's just this kind of weird feeling that what we've been told, because it's not that we predicted this is everything our guides and our higher selves have been showing us and preparing us for. So we're here, and this is the same thing. Just like we said this was going to happen, and it's happening. Okay, you're going to receive new hardware. You're set, fixed, Taurus. You are set to receive And it's not really receiving as much as it is manifesting and unpacking from your physical body new mechanisms of how you produce. My car is struggling to start right now. I feel like that's symbolic of how you're ready to actually like unpack greatness over the next few months. And true to this conjunction, it's just going to be so weird. And weird meaning supernatural. It may not be anything most of you are used to, and I say most of you because some of you are about that life. Some of you have always been weird game. So this is just going to be as natural as breathing. But, you know, allow yourself on a day like today to balance elements you're not used to with elements that represent you. Because this is going to prepare you for the next few days as we're post-Uranian conjunction and we kick off the quantum explosive shift and evolution on this bad boy. So the moon is transiting Gemini, and as it goes over Venus and the North Node, this is going to prepare you for the wicked, awesome eclipse that we're set to have next month. This also represents the moon finally coming out the gauntlet that it came into in Cancer or Capricorn. So once it goes into Cancer, it'll begin to oppose Capricorn, oppose Mars, oppose Neptune, oppose Chiron, oppose Uranus, oppose Venus in the North Node, and then go back down the gauntlet again. So this is where, not ironically, now that we're finishing out the gauntlet and the sun is on Uranus, we're ready to manifest the next level of these abilities. With the moon in Gemini activating this new moon, this is making you receptive to enlightenment and truth about what you're unpacking. One thing you also want to keep in mind with the square of moon to Neptune is you have some salty losers who are intimidated by you, all right? If we think about the complexity of how the veils are thinning and how energy non-locally can be transmitted, it only takes someone looking at your picture and connecting it and feeling something bad for you to feel it and pick up to it like instantly. If for those of you who are sensitive and feeling this, it's not in your head, you are really feeling it. And it's not really weird. It's actually, if you think about it, it's actually normal, right? It's an application of telepathy done unconsciously. Okay, so be mindful of that because I'm not really gonna say you want to get used to it, but what makes these people lame is that, you know, if they have a problem with you in their heart, maturity dictates that they can talk to you about it, but they're intimidated by it. They're intimidated by your potential, your beauty, your talent, and ultimately, especially if we take back the debacle of last decade, there are a lot of people who are acting like you're doing your own spirituality stuff, but they've now seen you flourish with it. Like you may not be, and when I say this, I'm not talking about me. I know it could kind of look like I'm just kind of reflecting on myself. I'm talking about situations you're in. Like there are people who've seen you flourish with walking elements of this path that they have bet long since ago you would have failed or not have stuck on, and they're seeing you bear fruit. That's the whole purpose of Taurus season. You're now bearing fruit that you're going to harvest Virgo season. And you know, some people are jealous. That's that Scorpio opposition. That's that Aquarius opposition. Or the Aquarius opposition, they're going to act like they're too cool to care, but they're jealous because they're in stressful situations and they see your inner peace. They're in chaotic situations and they see how you can maneuver through them. And, you know, whereas they may have the external materialism, you have the internal qualities and the external materialism. So really keep that in mind. Like, this is where you're going to start to see this brought more to the surface. Everything that was creeping in the dark in Capricorn is coming out in Aquarius. So be very mindful, in a weird way, how the more opposition you get, the stronger it makes you. Definitely not something you want to really deter against, but with that square the moon will be making in Neptune, you're going to be more aware of. Don't take it personal, because weak people do weak things. Someone who is strong of heart and soul is not going to hate on another person, is not going to belittle another person. We bring other people up. Weak people break other people down to get ahead. So don't be offended. For those of you who have Aries energy and or Leo, but really Aries, you're an exception. So if you get irritated, it's because the Aries cardinal fire reacts instantly. Just catch yourself when you get angry and then calm down. Don't let such facets get in your day, because this is just how dark forces are going to kind of get through. The reason why I have to talk about this is these abilities that are manifesting are based on your self-esteem. So if dark forces can attack your self-esteem and make you feel lack of confidence, you're not going to activate this the way you should, which is going to require a Kanye-esque level sense of confidence. Okay, I think I'm a god. I just told you who I think I am. All right, this is that level of confidence you bring in that's like not getting shaken. You can't tell me nothing. Nobody can tell you nothing, because they weren't there shooting with you in the gym, and they didn't get through the last decade that was Uranus and Aries square Pluto and Capricorn that claimed many lives. Even these transits are claiming lives. So like the more you survive every day, the more you need to really just pat yourself on the back. Just be grateful for your spirit team, because you know this is where things get super real. This is where you're going to now evoke extreme reactions from people who are fed up for your beliefs, because they've been holding it in this whole time. And you know that's a victory. Chaos and conflict on the surface will seem bad, but it's a victory, because you're popping nerves and vessels. You're bringing it out to the open to be addressed. And this is where you're going to see how much all the inner work you've done has you calm in situations of chaos, where it's just exposing the other people's true colors, because they never did the inner soul work. You're around a lot of people who act like they did soul work. They didn't really do the soul work. They were too busy caring about how what they do looks, the image of what they do. They were afraid to look into their shadow and embrace their shadow. Okay, not unlike you who embraced it. So congratulations. As we activate this cycle and the moon travels out of Gemini, spit your game and talk your shit. Whether it triggers people or not, this is about you expressing the truth of your value and not facilitating the idiotic opinions of people who don't even know you that well. So rock on and enjoy this new cycle that has been birthed. Today's daily word is as follows. My worth is magical. In fact, let's say that again from scratch. My worth is truly magical. And again, my worth is truly magical. And one more time. My worth is truly magical. Thank you for tuning in as always, and until tomorrow, you stay blessed. Peace.